Hello everyone, TMMgamer here, and today I have the pleasure of bringing you something a little bit different. Now today I'm using a gameplay that's been very kindly given to me by a guy called Ryan. Now Ryan's part of the Digital Warfare 24/7 community, you know, that forum I bang on about all the time. And he's given me this fantastic USAS 12 gameplay on Seatown. But before I get into any of the gameplay, I just want to have a little bit of a talk about what setup he's using. So he's using slide to hand, hardline and steady aim as his first three perk choices. And he's using specialist with dead silence, extreme conditioning and assassin as his choices. Now this is a very good setup for a shotgun because, you know, obviously the sleight of hand and the steady aim go well together to ensure that you're not really caught short, because shotguns are one of the few weapons, I think the only weapon class actually, that doesn't benefit from an accuracy boost when you aim down sights. So when you aim down sights, your aim itself might be more precise, so you can more precisely aim the analog sticks, but the spread of pellets stays the same. So you want to be shooting down the hip as much as possible, so steady aim is a fantastic choice for the shotgun. Now tie that with sleight of hand, because the USAS, as you can see from the bottom of the screen, has a very small magazine, so you don't really want to get caught short with a shotgun, especially because you don't have a lot of range. You want that fast reload, so sleight of hand is another very good choice for any shotgun classes. And Ryan's gone and used a specialist for a shotgun. Now I don't normally use specialists. Whenever I use a shotgun, I like to run fairly low standard kill streaks, like the 357 setup or something like that. But if you are going for a Moab, and this is what Ryan is doing in this gameplay, the specialist is a great option because it turns you into an absolute machine. You get blast shield, you get assassin, you know, you get all these things that keep you alive and help you kill enemies faster. So if you are going for those Moabs, I recommend trying it with specialist first. So that's just a little bit of about his setup. But what I wanted to do with today's gameplay is link it into sort of a broader theme of doing, letting you guys know how to rush, because over the course of the last couple of months I've been uploading videos, you know, giving you tips on how to rush effectively, how to move around the map, and how to make sure that you can get yourselves games like this. And part of that, and what really helped me improve when I was a very poor beginner, was watching other people play. Now if you watch some of your own gameplay back, you know, it doesn't really help you as much. And I sit there with my own game, and I know exactly what was going through my head at my time. I know I thought this, I did this. And eventually, once you become to feel comfortable with the game, you begin to think like you know it all. You know all of the routes, you know all of the weapons, you get into a bit of a rut. So whenever you do that, what I like to do is go and watch someone else. A great example of this is, I was a little bit stuck in a rut with Call of Duty about 2 or 3 months ago. You know, I was doing alright, I wasn't really doing horribly, but I was a little bit stuck with average scores. I wanted to push my game up to the next level, and what I did to help me do that was go and watch a few m.o.a.b videos, and then using a class that m.o.a.b used, I actually got a m.o.a.b, and that's the m.o.a.b on bootleg that I uploaded, you know, with the Scar H. That is a class that the m.o.a.b used. So every now and again, when you're stuck in a bit of a rut, going to watch other players and analysing other players really helps you improve. Now, that's what I did coming into this game, watching Ryan. I decided just to go in, watch the gameplay flat a couple of times, just, you know, see what he did well. And the things that really stood out for me, and these are things that can really help you rush, is his movement around the map. Now, Seatown is a very enclosed map. I mean, you can see just from this bit moving around here, there aren't too many open spaces on either side of the map. But if you're using a shotgun, you really want to be using and operating in the area of the map that Ryan's operating in now. You know, just above Market and B-Dom, and heading more towards C-Dom than A-Dom, because A-Dom, whilst it has these alleys here, for example, which Ryan is in now, as he slowly moves this way, he heads to the road. Perfect timing as always, and you can see that that is a lot more of an open area. So if you're trying to use a shotgun or an SMG on Seatown, you need to be sticking to the interior as much as possible. And that is my big tip number one for when you're rushing with a shotgun. It's try and keep the gunfight as close as possible, because, you know, I've mentioned this before, shotguns have a range cap. They are the only class of weapon in the game that cannot shoot across the map. If you pull a pistol out and try and hit someone across the map, you can. A shotgun, you can't. I mean, so you need to keep as many people and as many gunfights within arm's length as possible. And if you can do that, you're going to have a much better go of things. So this is what Ryan's doing here. He's doing laps of the interior, making sure that as often as possible, and it's not always going to be possible, but as often as possible, he's in cover in a building, so that whenever he does run into someone, he runs into someone at proper shotgun range, which is, I'd say, no more than 10 meters, because any more than 10 meters away, you're in the lap of the gods. You know, it's luck. It's not really judgment whether you're going to get the kill. It's just whether you can get a bit of luck with your range proficiency or whatever. So that's the big first tip for when you're rushing with any shotgun, and especially on a map like Seatown. It's stick to cover as much as possible. Now, the second thing I really want to get home from this is to watch a UAV. Now, unfortunately, there's a UAV up at the a counter UAV, sorry, up at the moment, so you can't get to see Ryan using his UAV. But what I noticed from watching this gameplay back, and if you want to, you know, go back and watch the gameplay again and again and again, you see Ryan using his map very, very well. And this is key when you're rushing, because rushing well, 90% of that is knowing where the enemy is, because if you know where the enemy is, you have the jump on them. Even if they're using assassin, if a friendly UAV goes up, you can see the rough area of the team. You're not going to be able to precisely pinpoint their entire group of players, obviously, if some of them are using assassin to block it. But what this enables you to do is get the rough idea of the spread of the team. So what Ryan does very, very well is keep checking his UAV, and there's several instances of him in this gameplay when he's absolutely charging through. He has a quick check of his map, stops sprinting, and then walks around the corner. And that is the fantastic thing to do, and that's a great thing to do if you want to maintain your scores. You know, a lot of people think rushing well involves just barnstorming it towards the enemy as fast as possible. You know, it doesn't involve that at all. To successfully rush, you need to make sure that when you actually run into a guy on the enemy team, you are preferably standing still, because when you're sprinting, it takes that extra split second to bring your weapon up into aiming position. And as you can see from this next death coming up in about 5 seconds here, that little split second delay really can make the big difference between death and surviving. Because as you can see here, Ryan was sprinting around the corner there, wasn't expecting the enemy to be there, and because the enemy was expecting him, that extra little bit of delay that Ryan had by stopping and bringing his weapon up ended up getting him shot. So that's my massive tip for this. You know, watch your radar, ensure that when you do run around the corner, you're 99% certain there's no enemies there. I mean, occasionally you are going to get caught out and shot, but that is the major skill point out of this video that I want to let you know. Because as you can see from this gameplay here, when you're a little bit more circumspect about when you choose to rush, when you edge round corners, just like that kill there for example, you know, you take a lot of the risk of rushing out, and that enables you to get a lot more kills, die a lot less often, and get much better scores. Because as you could see there, the one time Ryan died in this gameplay was because he was caught sprinting. So if you can, you know, pick and choose when you run, edge round a corner with your sights up if you're not too sure if an enemy's there, and then when you are confident that there aren't any enemies there, put your foot down so you can get back into the battle as fast as possible, and that'll enable you to get more kills, die less often, and hopefully post some more gameplays like this. Now, I think the final score is somewhere like 32-1. It's a Moab gameplay. Unfortunately, Ryan couldn't hold off the flawless, but I hope you've really enjoyed this video. You know, I think it's very interesting once in a while just to take a step back, watch someone else play a map that you're quite familiar with, and see what they do differently, see what they do well, and pick up those tips to improve your game. So guys, I really hope you've enjoyed the video. Big thanks again to Ryan for letting me use his gameplay, and as always, have a fantastic day.